So your review problems start on page 1 of 7. I'll go through them just kind of like I did last time. Those first 4 problems, you are to graph the points. 7 and 8, number 7 and 8, you're going to graph those points. Numbers 9 and 10, you're going to graph those lines. Again, using your graphing calculator or graphing it any other way you know how. It doesn't matter to me, just get it graphed. And then you have to answer those questions. Domain and range. What values are the domain? What x values, so what values of the range? The y value. So those first 2 problems are very simple. Just list them out there. Determine whether it is a function or not. How do we do that? Anybody remember? Right. Every single x can only be paired with one y. So if you have a point 3, 2, and then another point somewhere down there, 3, -4, you have a x value paired with more than one number. So that would not be a function. Okay? And then discrete or continuous, again, if it's just points, those are discrete. If it's a line, a continuous flowing line, or a curve, that is a continuous. And then 11 through 14, that is function notation, where you have to plug those values in. It's the same as plugging a value in for x, it's just written in a different way. So they give you the function f of 5 equals 5x minus 9, and on number 11, you're going to plug 6 in. So 7 through 14. And then down on section 2, on problem 16 and 17, problem 16 and 17, all you have to do is tell me whether it's linear or not. So you will have to go back either in your notes or back to your homework somewhere and look up those rules if you don't remember them. Okay, can't have variables multiplied, no exponents higher than 1, no variables in a denominator or under a radical. I think those are the rules. So that's all you have to do on those 2, say linear or not. Problems 18 and 19. You're just solving those equations and putting them in standard or general form, whichever way it's stated in there. Remember, that is ax plus by equals c. That's what your equation should look like. And what else is true, or what else has to be done? After you get it in the right order, what has to happen or can't happen? A can't be negative, or a fraction. Sounds like we're really going to have to study some of this stuff. This value cannot be negative or a fraction. So remember that. And then 20 and 21, you're finding x and y intercepts. And remember, to find the x-intercept, you make y 0 and solve. Find the y-intercept, you make x 0 and solve. And that should be in your notes as well. Section 3, go on the next page. We will do problems 23 through 28. Finding slope from 2 points, you will have to know the slope formula if you get them on the test. You will have to know the y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 formula and how to use it. (25) and 26, you're going to graph that point given, then you got to count the slope. Up 2 over 1, down 1 over 4, whichever way it is, you got to be able to do that. Same with 27 and 28. You'll have to remember perpendicular and parallel slopes. What do we know about parallel slopes? That's always the easy one. They're the same. So parallel lines have the same slope. So if they give you the slope of one line, you automatically know the slope of the line parallel. What about perpendicular? Opposite, opposite reciprocal. Which means what? Flip it and change the sign. You gotta do both of them. Section 4 was writing equations. Through 33. What are you going to start off with on every one of those problems? Writing equations. Y equals mx plus b, every single problem. So if they give you a point, you can plug that in for the x and the y. If they tell you slope, you can plug that in for m. If they tell you y-intercept, put that in for b. Remember, horizontal and vertical. Those are the special cases. Y equals mx plus b will not work on horizontal and vertical lines. So you have to remember those. Horizontal lines will always be y equals something. So if it's a horizontal line, you know that, that's what your equation should look like. Y equals whatever y is. Slope is 0 on those. So if the problem flat out tells you the slope is 0, that should mean something to you. If it says that on the test, you have to know that is a horizontal line, and all I need to do is write y equals whatever y is. Vertical. 0. Vertical, or x equals a number. Same way, y equals mx plus b won't work on that. Here the slope is undefined. Or 9 over 0, or some number over 0. If you end up with that, you can go the same way. This one equals 0. That one is undefined. You gotta know the difference. Get one of those answers in your calculator. From 2-5, we'll only do 35 and 36. Okay, so number 35, you're just drawing the scatter plot. Remember to change the years. The first year would be 0, and then however many years from that year would be your next one. You're going to draw the scatter plot, and then on 36, you're going to write an equation and plug in a future value. Those will be on the test. You will need to know how to do those. And then the last section, 2-7. (46 through 51). And those are involved. Don't forget those last two are absolute values, so your graph should be a V. If you need help typing any of that stuff in your calculator, let me know before the test. Don't wait and then not know on Monday. So you got a long break again before the test. Don't do all the review today and then not look at it again until you get back in. Make sure you refresh over the weekend. Be ready. Remember, tests are going to get harder every time. So you want to do as well as you can each test comes along. Chapter 3 will be a pretty difficult chapter for some. So make sure you perform well on this test. Go ahead and get started.